Oh. We're keeping it. Okay. Hey, guys. So, Sheila gets the wonderful experience of being my first YouTube episode that's not just me. I feel like I have the great opportunity to get to meet so many people that are doing things bigger than me and more outside of me. And since I get to learn from them, I want you to learn a little bit from them too. So this is my client, Sheila Wysocki. Hey. We've known each other for, we were just talking about this, like 5 or 6 years. Knew nothing about each other before. It was just destined.
It was a destiny.
She's my go-to to just get me back on track mentally for being badass. I'm going to cuss. Is that okay?
I'm okay with it.
So I have a series of questions I'm going to ask her. We're going to try to keep it short because she's a busy woman and I have a client coming in after this. So.
Yeah, but I have a question about you cussing and your mother watching.
She'll be okay. Sometimes she has to realize that I'm just an independent grown-up woman. That means I will cuss every once in a while.
With a sailor mouth.
My kids are worse, though. They'll stop me and I owe them a quarter for every time I say a cuss word.
That's cute.
Okay, so I'm just using my phone for my questions. I'm not checking text messages in between her talking. Okay, so how we met, in your words.
In my words, I was going to a doctor, and the nurse, do I say the name? Probably not.
No.
Okay. The nurse. Okay. So an anonymous nurse recommended Sarah. She does colonics, and it was a good idea for me to start that process. And I went and saw Sarah. I was not ecstatic about the idea, very apprehensive actually. And then I met Sarah. And she is incredible if you haven't met her. And she's actually such a great business person. She's very intuitive. She's very transparent. So I immediately liked her. I didn't like the fact that I was...
She said she would never do it.
Yeah, never.
But you were also going to this doctor for hormones.
Hormones.
To balance out your ideal weight.
Right.
And that was a big thing for you.
Right.
And she was not a good eater.
I'm still working on that.
She's like most people that wanted the quick fix.
Yeah, I am that person.
But I get it.
Sarah didn't provide liposuction, so that was the problem. And she actually wanted me to work at this process. So
and eat right. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So I wanted her to tell you what she did and why. I mean, because I have a lot of clients, and I don't want to interview all of them. No offense. But I think what Sheila does is amazing, and so I wanted you to just be introduced to her so you could, follow along with her as life happens for her and what she's doing. So what do you do in a nutshell?
In a nutshell, I am a private investigator, but I specialize in cold cases. And so I deal with families of lost loved ones in suspicious circumstances.
Okay, and why do you do that?
That's a great question. It's a calling.
Well, she had a case that's very public now that she worked on that I'll put some links underneath this. People Magazine just featured her. She's had a Dateline. But I would say that's what brought you into this. But, like you said, sometimes you were just going to do one and then be done.
Right.
What's have you...
The problem, originally... I was just going to do one and retire my license, and then I started having letters from people that needed help. And it seems to be a problem that there are so many people out there, so many families out there that need help. And you know what? I can't turn people down in need. Okay.
And the next one. Another reason, because she's awesome, but also because she's a female. And so that gets bonus points in my book. And she's a mom. And I think why I've related to Sheila so well is because I'm an entrepreneur, working mom that wants to be active with my kids, And that was Sheila. Now, hers are a lot older now, but still involving a lot different things than they were. But you'd have multiple businesses that you'd owned and ran leading up to this. so you were an entrepreneurial working mother.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's just hard. It's hard. You struggle. Are you doing enough? Are you not doing enough? We have big goals and passions that are maybe outside of our kids, but are we taking away from our kids? And it's an everyday. So I wanted her to just talk about maybe those struggles and how she overcame them, more specifically in the now position that you're in,
Mm-hmm.
you know, but you're probably better at it now leading up to because of all the things you have done. But
I've made every single mistake there is. You know, being a mother, there really is no plan. You're not following an instruction book. It is very difficult. So if you want to do things outside the norm, if you want to homeschool your children, or if you don't agree with society, there's a lot of pushback. So I went through the stages of exploring. I mean, even from the early days of cloth diapers, I was definitely one of very few that did that. So, you know, people look at you differently. Why I like Sarah so much is I tell her my mistakes. Don't do it this way because these are my mistakes. And there are a lot of them. And also the reaction of people. She, you know, at her stage with her children being so small and making life decisions that she does, there's going to be pushback.
Well, I think the other thing that I think about in your position is I'm a very vocal person on things I believe in.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say it's opinion, but it's really a stance.
Right.
And you take a stance on the things that you believe are right, which in turn means you have to explain it to your children, who yours are at an age where they can understand.
Right.
Mine are not. Like, Mom, why aren't you friends with that person anymore? Because they lie and they have no morals or ethics. Well, I thought they were really nice. Well,
right.
Okay, but, you know, and that's harder for a younger child. And when you are in the position like that I am in and that you're in, and you stand for things, and you have pure inside of you, you know it's just not right.
Right.
You have to explain that to your children because they're with you.
Right.
And you can't hide them, and nor do you really want to, but you have to, you know, kind of say it to them in a right way. And not let them be bitter of the world. And so I think that's something else I know you've had to go through. I've had to go through, and she has 2 boys, and I have a boy and a girl. So,
and Sarah is really accurate. You have to explain to your children, and I'm a communicator, so my kids, there's nothing off the table. There is nothing off the table. We talk about everything. We don't agree on everything now that they've gotten older and they think for themselves. But I think it's important. Sorry.
no, it's okay.
That you communicate, and because the world, you know, there are people that lie and people that are unethical or immoral. They have to make decisions.
I think the other thing too I think about though with you is
all.
I know, did it come off all
Yeah.
the way? Oh, I think we're still recording though.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, the shade Dateline here. It's just Sarah Moore. But the other thing is you put yourself out there in a way that can be harmful,
Right.
for sure. But then also your kids have to. You need their support just as much as, and vice versa. It goes back and forth. So I think that's what I'm saying too. I think whenever you stand for something, and that'll lead us into our next question, because my next was advice for women fighting to make a difference when men are against women. And I'm not a man basher. I love men. I have men clients. I don't love a lot of men. I mean, I love my husband.
She's not out loving everybody.
But there's definitely, it's a man's world. I mean, and if you have tried to make it on your own, and first for me it was music business, and now in this, you just deal with men who feel entitled and that think that you're supposed to sleep with them to get somewhere and all these crazy things. So men fighting to make it as a woman and men who are against women, but also on the flip side, women who are against women. And that can be the most frustrating thing because, and I'll give you my take on it real quick and then Sheila, because it's probably very similar. I think that women come from a scarcity place. I think we have so many things, you know, we want to be successful, then we want to be mothers, and we want to be a wife, and all of these things. And that when we see another woman doing something that we want, instead of saying, wow, that's awesome, that you're so successful, you're in people, you're in all of this, we say, I'm not there, and well, what's wrong with her? Oh, okay, it's, well, she's she's overweight, or she's skinnier than me, or she has more money, or she doesn't. Instead of just being happy for that person and recognizing that just another person being successful doesn't mean that you're not going to be successful. And so I think for some reason we've allowed ourselves as women to get caught up in that kind of jealousy.
Bashing.
Yeah, just hatefulness.
We've got to stop that as women. I will say one thing different from Sarah is I don't have to worry about people thinking I'm going to sleep with them. So just pointing that out. Sarah may have to worry about it, but I don't.
No.
But
I know. Why is it doing that?
I think here's the thing. I work in a world with mainly men and very strong men with opinions, men with more experience. So I'm battling that all the time. If you're a woman in that position, you have to work harder, longer, smarter, and you have to produce more, period. So you do it. And you do it because you want to do it for your business or your clients. I know I do. As far as women bashing women, it is a problem no matter who you are, where you are. Women like to lift people up and then they like to tear them down. That's just what I've seen. Me personally, I could care less. I get haters. I'm trying to help people, and I get hate mail. I kind of have to laugh at it.
And I just think the way that problem gets solved, so to speak, is just stop yourself in that moment. If you're not having a productive thought for that person, male or female, if it's not something that's uplifting, I'm not saying be like, oh, I love you, and that person's hurting you. I'm not going there, but I'm just saying in general, in this world where we overshare Facebook, it's so easy to tell what someone has, and I almost don't share as much because I don't want to seem like I'm sharing or boasting or being, whatever, when it's really not even, we just want to share.
Right.
I think we just have to stop and not come from a jealous state and come from a, wow, what can I learn from her? And we talked about that earlier, like every situation, even if it ends badly or something you walk away from because it wasn't positive, you learned something. And that's what I've realized. If there's a female that maybe I feel threatened by, or that I'm looking at from like, wow, she's so much more successful than me, I step back and say, what can I gain from her?
Right.
Like, what can I watch that she's doing that will make me
right?
Yeah.
And one of the things is I truly believe that you just have to let it go, because you're wasting energy on somebody else's problem, and it really is their problem, not yours. I'm very careful that I surround myself with friends that are very supportive, and I eliminate the ones that are negative. So,
and that can be the hardest thing, is eliminating the negative ones, but you've probably gotten pretty good at that.
I've gotten really good, but I'm older than you are, and I've been
and we talked about too our spouses being people that we can go home and unload on. Both of us have more, I guess, quiet. Would you say Charles is quiet?
Very quiet.
Quiet more compared to
our
us.
husbands would have to be. Just saying.
But it's nice to come back and unload that to them and not feel like you're going crazy in this world that's telling you you're crazy, or you standing for something that other people would rather just not have a voice on. And that's you, and that's what your tagline was, the voice for the voiceless.
That's
and
what
when
I
you're
am.
that, it's nice to go back to a girlfriend or to your spouse and be able to be like,
I think anytime you take a stand, you're going to always have oppositions, period.
Mm-hmm.
And you're always going to have someone that has fear or jealousy or something. And you just have to recognize it really is their problem, not yours. You just have to keep moving forward. And I'm a little softer as I've gotten older as far as that goes. I'm not in somebody's face because I can throw down. But I am softer because as Sarah and I talked earlier, you don't know where they're coming from. You don't know their life, their history. And so you just have to be true to you, but not buy into what they're selling.
Yep. Okay. We said we were going to keep it short, and
That's it.
Hey, but it's all valuable. It's all valuable. So I know if you're watching this and you understand Mac computers, I could probably set my timer to not turn my screen off. I get it. But this time,
So don't need to hate on her.
I told her I'm a one-take kind of person. So unless I answer a phone call on accident in the middle of filming, I usually just roll with what I got. Because
So this is it?
Yeah, because I just think everything is all too polished sometimes. And sometimes you just need real authentic talk. You know, if someone wants to offer me a really great camera and bring it in and show me how to do it, I'll go that route. But right now,
She's open to that.
Thank you, Sheila.
Thank you
very much.
I'm glad you asked me. I appreciate it.
Yeah,
First
I'm
one.
glad you're my
Woo.
first.
I
Yeah.
know. I'm excited.
All right. That's it. Do we need to... Oh, I already went forward. I was
Okay.
going to say we could stay there for a second. I'll cut off the end.